Gemini.
Hello Gemini, Happy New Year. This is your forecast for January 2016, a new year with new pages to be explored. And you know, for you, I can see how last year, 2016, was a year where you were dedicating especially more focus towards the ideal situation within your career. That's pretty much going to follow throughout this year as well. However though, January is starting up with the Sun, Mercury, the new moon, and Pluto here in the area of your committed, should I say, not just relationship, but the way you work with your relationship and how you share with one another. You're going to be looking into what feels right for you. How much is too much and how little is too little. What are you getting from your partner? What are you giving to your partner? So this balance here is going to be a dynamic focus to clear things up, make sure that it is balanced to a way that you're feeling harmonious with. And also perhaps looking into your savings. This is because the 8th house now is illuminated, has to do with your investments, has to do with your savings, your retirement funds, all those kind of things here, and where that stands and balances with your partner. So that's good, and then it will clear things out. Also, taxes is a big part of the 8th house, so you might get your taxes done early here this year, and once that is done, well, then it's out of your hair, isn't it? So the new moon here will be on the 9th, so that is the day to actually put down your intentions for how you would like to see that you can grow your savings or your investments. Great time for it, because not only is that going to empower you for the coming month, but actually wait until that of January of 2017. So make sure that you make the most out of it this month. Then we have Venus is going to be cruising through your 7th house of love and relationships. So this is a good time for you and your partner to spend extra time, whatever extra time that you can find. And also not only that, but to be able to find a mutual level of commitment. So that tells me that some of you are going to be tying the knot this year. Others might be engaged. And for those of you who are single, you can come to find perhaps a new partner here in January. Love is right here. It is really tickling your heart pink, really loving it, and especially on the 8th when Venus will be joining up with Saturn. Now Saturn has been chipping away here in this area where I see that so many of you Geminis are looking to secure, looking to really lock in what feels good, not just now, but for the long term. So it's been 28 years since Saturn was in this area for you. So this is the time where you're really looking to grow roots. On the 8th, when Venus is here, well, it's a commitment. It's talking about security. It's talking also about what you're feeling you're able to master at this time in your life. And it could be that your partner is the one coming in with that Saturnian energy as well. Mars will be in your 5th house for love, so you're starting off the month on both notes. Venus in the 7th, Mars in the 5th, both houses or areas that represent love. But that's only until the 4th. Then Mars will move out of this area of just having a lot of fun, which the 5th house is. So you've had a great time there with your partner in December, but now we're getting down to work. Mars is your energy level. It's your dynamic focus. And it moving into the 6th house, well, that has to do with how you're going to be looking at the way you want to strategize your life, how to organize or reorganize it, get all your ducks in a row, clear your desk, and clear out the garage maybe too, or other places where you might have been stuffing throughout the year. Well, Mars wants it organized. So you'll have a lot of good a backing of energy to get it done, especially because Mars is in Scorpio, and that just means that you're going to have a super focus on what it is you decide to do this month. There's passion, not just with Mars itself, but when Mars is in Scorpio, we have even more passion because we tend to go deep, we tend to go within. It's a private sign, but it's also a sign where you don't want to leave any stones unturned. It has a knack of just finding either lost objects or hidden knowledge, insights, and so forth. So you might just find yourself being a little bit of a private detective here in January and see where that takes you, all right? And we have Jupiter here still cruising your 4th house, which it has all through autumn. And so many of you Geminis have now seen how your foundation at home might have been growing and expanding, whether that means new children or it means new home with more spacious space, or just upgrading it. And in that case, I feel that you already are starting to feel that that area now has grown to a generous level. It's also the communication and connection that you have with family. This year is going to be much more so of spending time with them, as it has here towards the end of 2015. So I'm feeling that you are feeling good and generous-hearted towards them, and them with you as well. And for those of you who haven't really had the sun connect with the degree of Jupiter quite yet, or the degree of Jupiter in that 4th house, which has represented moves, some of you can come to see that you still have spring and summer to actually do that change. Uranus in the 11th house, that's hopes and dreams and friendships and so forth. And many of you have probably already joined some new groups, met new people. And those people are untraditional, is what I would like to say. That they're thinking somewhat outside of the box. And I think this for you is something that's really empowering and energizing, because you're growing through the connection with these new friends. And more people will be entering your life here this year as well. But more down to the day-to-day, we have January 5th, where the Sun and Pluto are going to conjunct. The Sun is you. Pluto is a pivotal point of transformation. This is showing up in your 8th house for money, taxes, retirement funds, and whatnot. You'll see that your focus right now is super sharp on the 5th through the 7th. This is also a time when the Sun is going to be squaring off on Neptune on the 5th and squaring off on Uranus on the 7th. So you're going to see that you might have to be good about how you're spending your time on these days, especially because you're so focused here on getting a certain project done, which might even be your taxes. You might have to sacrifice something here as far as sharing or spending time with friends. There could also even be a little bit of a stress factor, perhaps representing maybe something unexpected on the 7th. And when we don't really expect things to come in, it can throw us off course for a little bit. But I see you getting back on track on the 8th. So we just have a couple of days where we might feel a little fragmented. On the 8th, though, we have Venus and Saturn coming together in a conjunction. And like I said, that's your 7th house for love and romance. This is the day for you and your partner to come to some agreement that will not just secure you, but also your partner, the two of you together, putting down now a contractual agreement, I feel, that can really come to behoove you as a couple. Anybody you're working with closely one-on-one, this also would be a day where you could see eye to eye and heart to heart and come to some major agreement that you're going to be happy for in the following days. Because here, the 12th through the 13th, first we have some great news as far as money. This is Venus and Uranus. coming together, and it's from an area, perhaps from a group that you've been affiliated with. May open up some doors for a new opportunity for you. It could also be some bonus perhaps that could come to you from this, or some commissions maybe. On the 13th we have the Sun and Jupiter trine, also Mercury and Jupiter trine, and Jupiter for you is the 4th house. So this means that there could be good news within the family structure. Maybe you will be receiving something from your family. It could be you gifting your family. Maybe some of you might be having a celebration or a reunion of sorts. Whatever the deal is here, you're just going to see that this is days where you're going to feel that things are just gelling, coming together, easy peasy, right? Not some of that push and shove to get where you want to go, but where things might just now simply land in your lap. On the 17th, we have Venus and Jupiter square. Now, since Mercury is retrograde, and Mercury will retrograde on the 5th through the 25th, and for you that will be in the 8th house for your savings, right? And since Venus and Jupiter here are square, be a little careful that you don't splurge on something that you don't really need. If you don't need it, you might come to regret. Now, when these two planets come together, they're just wanting to have fun. You might just fall in love with something at the spur of the moment and do an impulsive buy that you might regret. So, especially if it is something that is costly, then I'd say hang in there for a couple of days. And if it's still calling you, well then you'll be more so okay. So then you can make your decision. On the 18th, Mars, which is your drive, your passion, your goal, now here in that 6th house, it is trining onto Neptune, which is your hopes and dreams, but it's also in the area of career. So I'm feeling here towards the end of the month, you might just see how new doors might open up. I could see that maybe there is a project that you can be presented, or if you are sending in content, a lot of you are writers and script writers and whatnot, communicators, that's Gemini for you. So here you could actually bring something together that you've desired for a while, but here comes action. So the 18th, circle that on your calendar. On the 22nd, Mercury and Pluto. Remember when I said January 5th held a certain key for a pivotal point of transformation? Mercury is going to meet that very same degree in your chart, and here again you might get a green light. So whatever was instigated there on the 5th, you might get feedback now on the 22nd. But it's also a day, if you're going to have any new talks and negotiations, you're going to be quite powerful here at Gemini in the way you're presenting what it is that you stand for. And so this is great. Just keep in mind that Mercury is still retrograde until the 25th. So you got 3 days after this talk, this negotiation, that should pass before you sign anything. It's okay to have the talks and the negotiations. That's perfect, because Mercury is going to reach back into the past and bring forward certain things that might have been discussed earlier in 2015 and throughout the autumn that now can come back to behoove you. So good for you. The new moon is on the 9th in the sign of Capricorn, which is your 8th house. So put down your intentions that you're going to be better to perhaps save, put money aside, invest, and so forth. So you don't splurge it all at once, because now the new moon can give you that wonderful focus, which you're not going to have before January 2017. So that's going to be a year from now. So if you make these promises to yourself and you start it up, well, this is going to linger throughout all of 2016, which you will come to see. You're going to be very happy that you did. The full moon, though, is on the 23rd. And for you, Gemini, it's going to be in the 3rd house, which you rule. So it's going to be extra powerful. The potential here, I feel, is if you're going to give any talks or presentations, this would pretty much be a great day for you to do so, because the full moon is going to be illuminating you and the way you speak and what you speak. So you're in the limelight on the 23rd. So listen here, Gemini, this is what we have for you for January. If you haven't listened to your 2016 forecast, it's there online. You'll find it on my channel, so you can see what you can come to expect throughout the year. And for those of you, if you haven't listened to the Tarot reading, we have that too for all of 2016. They're online, and also that is coming in here as far as your January forecast through the Tarot. So when you have time, listen through them all. I think you will be very pleased to see what is up for you. So have a good one, and I'll see you in February. Bye now.